Hi. Well, I'm going to attempt to tell my full story in 5 minutes. I'm going to be speaking, I think I've got 5 minutes, at the Boston Healing Humanity Dr. Kilt's meetup on June 28th. And I'm practicing because I have notes and I know my story, but I'm not sure I can tell it in 5 minutes. So I think I've got 5, give or take minutes. So we'll see. And it's ticking off right there on my phone so I can tell how long I've been talking. And so here we go. So to begin, when I was a kid, I was constipated and had lots of headaches, and I was kind of sickly. And then I had painful periods, and I had acne. So I was put on tetracycline, a very powerful antibiotic for my acne, and then I took it for about a year. A year later, I was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and that's a whole long story that you don't want to hear. So went ahead, went to college, managed my type 1 diabetes. When I got out of college, I started reading nutrition books and health books, and I got really interested in health and nutrition, and I became a vegetarian. So I was mostly vegetarian. When I was pregnant or when my kids were little, I had 3 kids, we would eat chicken every now and then, turkey a little bit, but mostly it was tofu and cheese and eggs, thank God. And by the time I'd had type 1 diabetes for 25 years, I had had headaches like once a week for many, many years, and took tons and tons and tons of painkillers. And when I was about 40, 41 or so, I wanted to go to this chiropractor who was promising, she'd heal me. I had, this is what happened. By the time I had diabetes for 25 years, I had frozen shoulders, had frozen hips. I could not move quickly. It took me a solid minute to get up out of a chair, or even if I could get on the floor, it would take me a solid minute to get up off the floor. And I was a wreck. I couldn't hold my head up. My head would just droop to one side. I couldn't hold my head up. Anyway, there was no name for what I had because I looked in all the medical journals. There was no name for what I had, because at 42, I found Dr. Bernstein and very low carb and intense insulin therapies, which meant that you took insulin for every meal. You took 5 shots a day instead of just 1 like I had been. You managed your blood sugars really, really well. And actually that got me really well. It got me, it's changed my 6.5 A1C down to a 4.9, and I got really, really, really healthy. So I've almost used up 5 minutes, so I'm definitely doing too much detail, so bear with me. Okay, all right, let's see. Oh, and so I did that. I did Dr. Bernstein's diet for 7 years religiously, and then I heard about the raw vegan diet, which promised healing. And I had believed that I could heal type 1, and I was just sure of it. So I was going to go on the raw vegan diet to see if it would actually heal me. So I started that. I did the raw vegan diet for 7 years. I had a company called Amy's Living Magic. I mailed out crackers and nuts and dehydrated onion bread and crazy stuff that I cooked in my dehydrator all over the world. It was very popular, and and then my husband and I wrote a raw vegan cookbook, and then we all started getting sick. All my friends who were raw vegans, and me and my husband, his teeth were rotting, and my joints were hurting. Of course, it's my joints again. So we decided we would go keto. And that's actually when I was researching the keto diet. And the reason we decided to do keto is we'd really gotten into the whole locavore movement, eating all local food. And, to jump from raw vegan to keto, eating meat, I felt like I had to eat meat that was raised ethically by friendly farmers, compassionate farmers. So I don't know where I was going to go with that. So we decided we would do keto, and we would do it with only local meat. And we did that for 7 years. I don't know what this magic number of 7 is, but it is what it is. And then we were on a trip and had YouTube playing with nothing else to do but driving in a car. And we heard the Sean Baker, Joe Rogan podcast, and the Michaela Peterson and Jordan Peterson podcast on Joe Rogan. And we heard about the carnivore diet. If you've never heard those, you've probably heard people talking about them. They're the ones, and that was in October 2018. My husband went carnivore the very next day. And on that trip, basically we were eating meat and fermented vegetables. And I was afraid to go full carnivore while we were traveling because I'm type 1 diabetic. Who knows what could happen? So I did it the day we got home, which was November 12th, 2018. I became carnivore, and I've been carnivore ever since. Now, I got pretty well on keto, and I didn't really have many complaints except things that I thought were part of aging. But even though my blood sugars were better and I was a lot healthier on keto, when I went full carnivore, the floaters in my eyes went away, which they did not on keto. My ears, when I would fly on airplanes, they would hurt really, really, really badly. And I found out that they don't hurt anymore when I fly because my husband and I went to Russia and Italy, and I was like, no pain. So it was like magic. Carnivore was like magic. The other things are subtle, and so you don't really understand, or you don't even realize until you really think about it. But my clarity of mind and my braveness. My husband has since died. He died 3.5 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And I would not have the nerve to do the things that I do now as a widow. There's no way that I could live like I live with the fear that I had. I didn't even know I was fearful, but I certainly was. And I'm still a little bit. It's a kind of a woman thing, I guess. But anyway, I'm pretty brave now, and I've basically gone for 10 minutes. And so I'm going to have to do this again and shorten it. But I'll go ahead and post this, and maybe you can give me some pointers. Thank you very much.